Hey everyone, the Beard Baron here today with the #1 question I receive, not only just from bearded men, but from just people in general. They look at me and they ask, how do I eat? And it's a simple one-word answer. How do I eat? Carefully. With a fully obstructed mouth with my mustache, I'm always aware when I'm eating of how I'm eating, what I'm doing with my hands, the utensils I'm using with my mouth. You probably will never have to think about eating or drinking until you actually have an issue with your mouth, something blocking it, or you guys have ever had something wrong with your teeth, your gums, any kind of surgery on your mouth. You don't realize how much you take eating and drinking for granted until there's something wrong or something that's preventing you from eating normally. So I'm going to speak from my experience. Fully obstructed mouth with a mustache. I know you guys have some smaller mustaches and beards out there, so you can dial back this information to use whatever you'd like to use from it. I'm not going to get to every single food group in the world today. I'm just going to give you a real brief overview of some simple tips and tricks that you can use in your day-to-day life to kind of eat better, eat more clean, being a little less messy. Because without a beard and mustache, years and years ago, meticulous eater, never had to use a napkin or anything at the table because I was always very particular. But now that's a whole different story. So I'm just going to get into it. So let's do it. Disclaimer. You can feel free to eat however way you want. So what I'm going to just give you is what I try to do if I'm trying to be really neat and clean. So keep that in mind. You can go nuts and hog wild as you want. But if you want to keep it clean, that's what we're going to go with. Now, since my mustache covers my mouth, I cannot have food directly going at my mouth. Because if I go right at my mouth, it's just going to push the mustache right into my mouth, and I'm going to chomp down onto my mustache. And the first time you eat your mustache is the only funny time that it ever happens. Every time after that, it's very annoying. Flossing your teeth with your mustache is not a cool trick. It's funny once, and that's about as far as that joke will ever get you, because it's very annoying to have mustache hair being shoved in with food into your mouth. So what I have, and what I refer to it as, is the window of opportunity, which is down here. There's an angle. When I open my mouth, there's going to be an opening down there that's going to go underneath my mustache. So I'm not coming directly at it. So if I do that, it's going to push the hair right into my mouth. And it's going to be really disgusting. Window of opportunity, I open my mouth a little wider, my head's tilted back a little further, and food goes up in there. It's fairly simple to explain. It might take you a few tries to get it. It is kind of annoying and a little tricky at first, but once you find the window of opportunity, you'll get a clear understanding. And I'm always aware of doing it too, so it's not like one of those things you kind of get used to it. I do to a point, but I'm always aware of trying to maneuver food into my mouth, underneath and up into my mustache, into my mouth. So it's going to take a little bit of practice. I bet you can do it though. Biting into food. I usually avoid it, and this is because when you're trying to put food into your mouth to bite down, to remove the rest of it, it causes quite a mess. Now this is like, burgers, sandwiches, hot dogs, pizza, anything that requires you to chomp onto your food with your mouth in order to cut it off and remove it. It's going to lead to putting your whole mustache and beard into that food. Now this is going to be even trickier if there's any kinds of sauces, condiments, ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, whatever. That's just going to go all over your mustache, and it's going to create quite a mess. So I usually recommend breaking food down. The more you can break food down into smaller pieces that fit into the window of opportunity, the better off and cleaner you're going to be. Very simple. Break down your food, whether with your hands. You can break burgers, hot dogs, you can cut stuff down, fork and knife it, good to go. Small pieces, the better. Larger pieces are still going to give you trouble, so you try and get it down to a manageable piece. Utensils, spoons, forks, knives, not all created in the same size. The smaller your utensil that you use, the more manageable it's going to be. And the less amount of food you put on your utensil, the more manageable it's going to be. For example, today I had some delicious clam chowder, New England clam chowder, for lunch. Usually I skip soups and chowders because they become such a mess, because the more liquid your food is, the more potential of a disaster it's going to be for your mustache and beard. So when I do deal with liquids, soups, chowders, ice cream, and I'm using a spoon, I don't overload the spoon. I only fill it up probably about halfway, quarter to halfway. I don't put a full-on scoop on it and try and put it in my mouth because it's going to end with a bunch of liquid all over my face. So what I do is I put about half of this chowder onto here. When I put it into my mouth, I flip the spoon over inside of my mouth, and then I draw it back out down like this. Because when you have any kind of liquids on your spoon and you put it in your mouth and you were to draw it out, usually like how a regular person would take it out, up and out, you're clamping your top lip and your mustache down to the top of the spoon. It's going to pick up any kind of leftover residue that you did not get off of it. So it almost becomes a soup strainer, which a lot of people refer to mustaches as, because technically that's exactly what happens. It's really annoying because it probably takes you, maybe 100 soup spoons to eat a soup, and having to wipe your mouth after every single time gets really old really fast. So don't overload your utensils. You don't need to load up a whole entire spoonful. You don't need a whole entire forkful. The less food you have on your small utensil, the more manageable it becomes to eat. So we talked about eating messy liquid foods. Now the other problem you can have is with crumbly, flaky foods. Now this is like your pastries, any kind of cakes, muffins, any kind of thing that flakes apart when you're eating it. Again, with those kind of foods, you do not want to bite into it, because if you have a beard that's anywhere off of your skin, it's going to collect crumbs like it's going out of style. It'll be like just a crumb machine. So you're better off with saying, like, take a muffin. Better off breaking it in your hand, cutting it, taking a small manageable piece, whoop, in it goes, you eat it. Otherwise, if you try and take a bite into a muffin or a piece of cake or anything that's going to flake all over the place, you're just going to end up with a disaster of crumbs on you and all over you. So again, break it down small, manageable pieces. I think you're seeing the running theme here. Napkins and paper towels. A key, essential thing to have at every meal or anytime you're eating or drinking something as a beardsman or someone who wears a mustache, a long mustache. Every single meal, I have paper towels next to me. I don't even use napkins anymore, because for me, paper towels are much more absorbent, they're stronger, they're a little bit bigger, and I do use them every single meal. I can't imagine sitting down to eating something without a paper towel next to me. In my house, I don't even know if even I have napkins. Just rolls and rolls of paper towels. This is really key to have on you, because you never know when something's going to go wrong. Even if you're using the best technique, you think you got your food figured out, you think your food's not going to create a mess, somehow something happens and you create a mess. And once something goes messy on your mustache and beard, it's not the easiest thing to get out. So if you have a real disaster and say the paper towel's not doing enough, you can get up, go to a sink real quick, wipe it down, wet it down, maybe even take a towel to it. If you're really eating something that you think is going to be real messy, you can have some wipes with you. You can have some water that you could dunk paper towel into, or even like a cloth napkin. Wipe up a bit, that way you're not always running up and down. One of the key meals that I get really tripped up in is tacos. I love tacos. I probably have tacos. I think I had tacos 3 times this week. And I love sour cream. So this is a recipe for disaster. I know it. I go in full well knowing that I'm going to be eating this and having an issue with it, but I really don't care, because I love tacos. Even going out, fish tacos are great. I'd get them. I don't care who's watching, who's looking, but I'm prepared to clean up a disaster on every single bite. Sometimes it's better than others. It can be highly frustrating at times as well. Don't get bent out of shape. Never, ever, ever, promise me, never shave your beard or mustache over a frustrating meal of eating something. I've been there, I've done it, I've come very close to just being like, I've had it, I've had enough. Don't go there, it's not worth it. Don't let your anxiety or anger get the best of you in that situation. Remember guys, eat it simply, eat it small bites, take your time eating, pay attention to what you're doing, keep your mouth open a little wider, head back, window of opportunity, and you guys will do just great. I hope this was informative. I'll do a video soon on eating out in public, because that has a nice little couple of tips and tricks out there for what you need to do that can improve what you do out in public. I know just some people get a little anxious about those kind of situations, so hopefully I can help you guys out there. Drop me some comments down below. You know where to find me on Facebook, Instagram. If you haven't subscribed, just subscribe down below. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Catch me on thebeardbaron.com. Talk to you soon, but until then, take care.